Those were some heavy kicks.
I was always defined by what I did, not who I was. You know, a lot of times I thought I was that's my value, is just as a fighter, as an athlete, as a competitor, and that's how people saw me.
And 23 seconds, Mark Kerr.
The moment you become an elite athlete, you go from Mark to Mark Kerr, right? Your name now becomes 2 words, right? And then when you're done, that's Mark Kerr, that's a UFC fighter, that's the baddest dude on the planet, to being just Mark. And it's a lonely place, because you're used to the spotlight, you're used to people around you, you're used to doors opening, to being left in this living life and being you. And what a lot of people don't understand is that the athlete's biggest source of peace is when they're in the arena.
Cognitively, what I did for a living, there's no way of escaping that. There's consequences for it. And I willfully signed up for it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? I felt like this, underneath everything, there was this just anxiety about everything. You know, feeling like I can't describe it to you, but it's one where it's like, I know my sleep's disrupted. I know that at points it's, I describe it like, I became so comfortable with the irritation. It's like being comfortable with walking with rocks in your shoes, right? It's like having this feeling of, I know there's rocks in my shoes, but I've just learned to walk with them. And I was great at hiding it, really good.
Cognitive decline is real. Like, in having concussions, like, I've seen the dark side of concussions. Hearing Mark and hearing about, needed caffeine, couldn't sleep, impulse control, you could just tell, like, his ability to just retain information and focus just wasn't quite there.
In describing, like Spencer, I got this feeling that I can't, it's like an itch I can't scratch. It's this thing, it's this irritation. I know that there's something that's going on with my nervous system. I know that there's something going on with my head. I know that there's something going on. In describing it, him just simply goes, I know who you need to go see.
In my opinion, cognitive health is longevity, right? We can't have an organ that's more synonymous with longevity than your brain and your central nervous system. I mean, there's no sense in having good knees, good hearts, good shoulders if you don't have a good brain.
So that's why I built the Cerebral Charge brain program.
For the past 20 years, that was always the problem with medicine, is that we say, we can test everything else, but your brain is basically off limits. We can't do an EKG. We do preliminary tests on the brain and say either there's an injury or there's not. But we can't tell you whether it's optimal. We can't tell you how it's functioning. All we can say is, was there a brain bruise or was there not? Is there activity or is there not? But there needed to be, in my opinion, biology and functionality. You can grade these things, and obviously over time, we're going to get some decline as a performance specialist, whether it was in athletics or high performers or just regular general chronic disease. I mean, if you didn't have a brain and you didn't have a central nervous system, you wouldn't live well. Nothing else was more important than having things that were actually functioning, because your brain and your central nervous system are really going to dictate how the rest of your body functions. And unfortunately in medicine, we have very few, if any, answers on how we want that to function better. When we're talking about organ function and longevity, which is a buzzword now, so everybody wants to talk about this, but it's always from the neck down. We never really focus on what the central computer is doing, which is going to dictate how the rest of your body is going to really function. And in order to have a well-functioning body that can do things into your later years, obviously your brain and central nervous system are going to be the most vital organ. The mystery in medicine is how the brain works. Right, because we have an electrical organ. It's not really based on biochemistry as much as we'd like to believe. It's probably that part of the ocean that hasn't been explored a whole bunch. So we have very little as far as interventional procedures that we can do to, number one, assess what might have been wrong, and number two, actually correct. The most rewarding thing is to help somebody's nervous system correct itself. When we create a spark, we can cultivate that spark. And if we do that a number of different times, brains learn and brains repair.
So then what's next? What's next?
Yeah. Incredible part is I didn't see any of this coming. This is like one of those things where it's like everything that went on with the movie, everything that went on with that experience, and then getting back with Spencer and training with him, and him going, hey, Dr. Robots just right down the way. And like, I couldn't have written this out. Like, because it really does make, I feel for myself that it's like, I'm here for a reason. Like, completely, I'm here for a reason. And this gets me emotional too, but it's like, I think for the first time in my life, I finally know where I'm supposed to be.